Ladies and gentlemen, what a round it was yesterday. Ideas clashed, voices rose, perspectives expanded, and leadership emerged. Our respected juries had the most difficult task, selecting the best among the best. And now, the wait is over. With the permission of esteemed jury, can I proceed? With great excitement and pride, I announce the names of the students who have cleared stage 2 and are moving ahead to stage 3 of Yugma 2026, that is oral presentation round. Yes, while I will announce the name, the participants are requested to come to the stage, and I will request Professor Asif Khan to coordinate. And the students selected to stage 3 of Yugma 2026 are Anandita Misra, BJP Autonomous College. Mausunki Kabatam Mangena, C.V. Raman Global University. Prachi Pratyasa Misra, SCT Medical College. Abhinav Nair, Panchayat College. Adhyasa Anushka Sahu, Silicon University. Ashiki Sikdar, Crash College. Saubhagya Sahu, UN Autonomous College. Aniruddha Mahapatra, BJP Autonomous College. Aditya Mahapatra, NSM City College. Rohit Sharma, Korin City College. Megha Satpati, IJT Saran. Sanskruti Behra, Roland Institute of Science. Yes, these 12 students will be in Group A in Stage 3 of Yugma 2026, that is oral presentation round. And I would like to invite the mentors of this group, Dr. Shweta Das and Professor Dipanita Misra, to come to the stage. Moving ahead, the next participants who have cleared stage 2 are Ayushman Kumar Sharma, Karim City College. A. Dimple Sailedi, RCA. Komod Rani Das, BJP Autonomous College. Harmit Bawa, Karim City College. Buanda Ramisto Nexville, Soa University. Abhinav Kumar, Toronto College. Sri Panindai, Ointia. Khushbu Kumari, Toronto College. Prachi Pratyasa, Silicon University. Riya Tiwari, Srinath University. Namanpreet Kaur, Srinath University. Samta Kumari, Srinath University. These 12 students will be in Group B in Stage 3 of Yugma 2026, and I would like to invite the mentors, Professor Sunil Kumar Misra and Professor Chaitanya Charan Bahadur, to come to the stage. Thank you, sir.
असिस्टेंट ऐसे करते हैं ना सर, ये ग्रुप है ना, असिस्टेंट ये ग्रुप है ना, उसको ग्रुप ही करवा है, ये उसको करने सर हमारा ग्रुप ही है, हमें ग्रुप करने के बाद दे आर वेरी हैप्पी, गुड, दे शुड बी हैप्पी, ग्रुप इज हियर, ओके, लेट्स राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर
Moving ahead, the next participants who have cleared stage 2 are Amlan Das, Revensa University, Riddhi Agrawal, FCD Medical College, Ashutosh Acharya, IJT Saran, Pratima Kumari, Dorando College.
right sir, yeah, Amla is going from Revensa University, you can repeat this.
Riddhi Agrawal, SCB Medical College, Ashutosh Acharya, IJT Saran, Pratima Kumari, Dorando College, and Archana Montechulia, Parvati Girls Women's College, Joy Mukherjee, Srinath University, Swahana Koitri, Institute of Pharmacy and Technology, Mulia, Sri University, Sesa Rakshi, Symbiosis Institute of Technology, Siti Pragya Sahu, Roland Institute of Pharma Science, Tinopenda Magma, C.V. Raman Global University, and last but not the least, Chinmay Charu Singh Rao, Salerpur Autonomous College. These 12 students will be in group C in stage 3 of Yugma 2026, and I would like to invite the mentors Dr. Vishnu Prasad Kaur and Professor Priyanka Jena to come to the stage. Once again, hearty congratulations to all the participants who have successfully advanced to stage 3 of Yugma 2026, that is the oral presentation round. Dear qualifiers, the next round will test not only your knowledge and articulation, but also your presence of mind and confidence under pressure. Before we proceed further, it is very important to understand the guidelines and framework of the upcoming round. And for that, we have the most appropriate person with us, the coordinator of Yugma 2026, Professor Genesis Mahanti. It is my proud privilege to invite Professor Genesis Mahanti to kindly come forward and brief our participants about the rules and regulations of stage 3. Sir, please.
Thank you so much, Professor Manoj. Good morning, everybody. Honorable Legal Secretary Dr. Vanki Mohanty, esteemed jury members, esteemed Director Strategic Campus and Communication, Professor Dr. Ashok Panda, revered faculty colleagues, respected faculties from different institutions across the country, revered parents, dear contestants, qualifiers, and my lovely students of Asta School of Management. Good, very good. I mean, lovely student, that's what this is all affair, right? First of all, with lot of pride, with lot of enthusiasm, we the students of Asta School of Management, being the host of the 10th edition of Yugma, the National Oratory Contest, let us give a standing ovation to this 36 number of winners who have qualified from round 2 and who are going to show their creativity, show their productivity, show their talent in the stage 3 of the competition, that is the oral presentation round. So, from the organizing committee, we salute each one of you for clearing the jury round, because the jury round was not easy. The jury round was never easy. I request sir, please take this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good. This is a gesture Astra School of Management is showing to all of you, because the jury round was never easy. Since it was not easy, that was the reason for which esteemed jury member, Professor Dr. Sarmila Shubram, thought that before announcing the result, she should come forward and let you know on what basis, on what parameters you people have been judged, you people have been evaluated, on the basis of which you are sharing the stage. Are you all happy? Are you all happy?
Yes, sir.
How is the Josh?
Hi, sir.
Blessings of the Lord. Blessings of the Lord. Blessings of the Lord. Thank you so much. I mean, Professor Manandar Naik has made my job very easy, because he has divided the qualifiers into 3 different groups: Group A, Group B, Group C. I think the first rule I was about to read, but since he has already done the thing, so I am not going to talk much about this particular rule, because shortlisted candidate have to be divided in 3 groups. They have already been divided: Group A, Group B, and Group C. Each group consists of 12 members, and each group being led by 2 faculty guides. Group A is being led by Professor Dr. Shotapatma and Professor Deepananda Mishra. They are here. Group B is being led by Professor Sudhir Mishra and Professor Chaitanya Bahadur. They are here. And Group C, 12 students, they are going to be led by Dr. Vishnu Prasad Kaur and Professor Priyanka Jana. Wonderful. Now the actual rule starts from here. All of you would be taken to separate rooms under the guidance of the respective faculty members, where you would be allowed to listen to a AV clip of 5 minutes approximately. Am I making sense, Group A?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me, Group B?
Yes, sir.
Are you following me, Group C?
Yes.
Wonderful. So each one of you, group-wise, under the guidance of the faculty members or the professors, you will be taken to different rooms where you will be allowed to listen to an audio clip, audio video clip of 5 minutes approximately. Obviously, you will also be given with a page for the text of the clip has been mentioned. So you are listening to the audio clip, you are listening to the scripts displayed on the screen, and you have also a piece of paper where the text of the audio clip is mentioned. Correct? Obviously, since you people will be moving to different rooms, the audio clips, the AV clips are also different. So the audio video clip of Group A is unique, the AV clip of Group B is also unique, and the AV clip of Group C is also unique. So there are 3 different AV clips to 3 different sets of qualifiers. The next rule says like this: each contestant will be provided with a piece of paper for taking notes while listening to the clip. So will be each contestant, 12 in A, 12 in B, and 12 in C. So you will have a piece of paper. So where it has been mentioned that you have to write your name, you have to write your group, you have to write your serial number as well. In case of any confusion so far serial number is concerned, your faculty guides are there to help you. Are you getting my point? So what is the use of that piece of paper? The use of that piece of paper is when you are listening to the audio video clip and you are going through the text, you are assimilating your thought process and taking note of your thought process on that piece of paper. That piece of paper is extremely important to you. Is that clear? Now, once you are ready with your thought process, so for example, the AV clip is of 5 minutes. On your request, the faculty guides may play it for the second time. So 5 minutes plus 5 minutes. How much it is? 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes is over, you will be allowed to assimilate your thought process for 15 minutes. So 10 plus 15, how much it is? 25 minutes. So 25 minutes will be given to you to prepare yourself before you come down to the conference hall for the oral presentation. Am I clear? 5 minutes plus 5 minutes, 10 minutes for the audio video clip to play, then 15 minutes to assimilate the thought process and make notes of your assimilated thought process, right? Once you are done with your thought process and the faculty guides indicates time is off, then your oral presentation round starts. Now the process which will start, I am going to brief it to all of you. When we'll start with the qualifiers of group A, we'll start with them only, right? So when the contestant number 1 of group A giving his or her oral presentation before the expert jury, all other contestants of group A are in that particular role. So whatever contestant number 1 is presenting before the expert jury, or whatever interaction the expert jury is having with contestant number A, nobody from group A is in a position to hear it or to witness it. Similarly, the contestant number 1 ends his or her presentation, he or she goes down, takes his seat. Then the contestant number 2 coming. Then the contestant 3 coming. Likewise, it will move. Now the question is, how much minutes are allowed to each contestant? You are altogether allowed 3 minutes to present your thought process orally. Altogether 3 minutes. 2.5 minutes you will be present, then there will be a bell. So within 0.5 minutes you are required to wrap your presentation. But altogether it is 3 minutes. Right? Now, when the contestant of group A, they are presenting orally, what the contestant of group B and group C are doing? Group B and group C contestant are sitting inside the conference hall. Your sitting arrangement has already been earmarked because you will sit inside the conference hall under the supervision of the 2 faculty guides. You are not allowed to interact among each other. You are not allowed to interact with your friends. You are not allowed to interact with your professors even. Am I making sense? Another important one. Once all the 12 students of group A, they are done with the oral presentation, the faculty guides will take the students of group B to a particular room. From group B, the first contestant will come and present. Once he or she is done, he or she takes his seat. Then the second contestant comes and give his or presentation before the expert jury. Likewise, group B will do. Once you are done with all the students of group B, the students of group C will be taken to a particular room. From there, one after another, the contestant will come and present give their presentation. Correct? Very important point is here. My professor colleagues, they know that group A students will be escorted to classroom number 9. Group B students will be taken to classroom number 10. And group C students will be taken to Anandita, Astha's Oratory. So these are the rooms where these students, group A students, are allowed to sit and listen to the AV. Once group A students are in classroom number 9, group B are in classroom number 10, and group C students are in Anandita, the first job, my faculty, what they will do? They will take away your mobile phones. You are not allowed to use your mobile phones. So that is, we have designed a process. My professor colleagues are going to tell you. So they will take your mobile phones, they will give you a token, and they will keep it in a bag. That those mobile phones will be under their custody till the entire oral presentation round is over. So once the group A contestants are done with their oral presentation, they should not go and approach my professor colleagues for their mobile phones, because by that time the oral presentation round is not over. So you can only get back your mobile phones from the professor colleagues once the entire oral presentation round is over. So essentially, what does it mean? It means you are required to assimilate your thought process from the audio video clip, from the given text write-up, and from the piece of paper which you have been allowed to carry along with you. And when you are coming to the podium, you will come to the podium only with that piece of paper where you have handwritten your thought process. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Group A, Group B, Group C. If you have any queries, before I leave the podium, I would like to answer. Any queries. Anybody has got any confusion, any further information? Yes.
From my side, so just wanted to know, so whether the candidates will be marked according to like average out or on the basis of each round, like for the semester.
Okay, what's your name, beta?
Prachi.
Prachi. Prachi, you want to know your serial number, the sequence of, that is what you are
I
asking?
was asking, so whether the candidates will be marked on the basis of each round elimination or average.
It's an elimination.
Okay.
Okay, but that, madam, I think, okay, fine. Good question, Prachi. Then Prachi, let me also know it. Okay, so, madam, would you like to respond?
She was asking whether we will be cumulative evaluation of, you can see, every stage is an elimination stage. So the first stage was an elimination stage from the
Yes.
video clips you came here. After that, GE was also an elimination stage. This will also be an elimination stage. Out of these 36 students, only 5 will go for the final.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, okay?
Yes.
The top 5 finalists will be chosen from you all 36. They will be go to the stage 4. That is the final round. That is the open forum debate round of Yugma 2020. Okay? So be very confident, be very focused, try to align your thought process with the philosopher Srima and Shorobindo, and speak here with grace. That is what my message would be to all of you, being the coordinator of Yugma 2020. Thank you, everybody.
Just I will excuse me, and with the due permission of the esteemed jury members, we would love to congratulate the students, those who have participated in Yugma 2026 first. Those who have not qualified to this phase for 35, we go down and we salute to all of you for your interest, the participation and the energy what you people have shown. So each one of you are a winner for us. Let me convey my gratitude and thankfulness. Number 2, I hope the coordinator, I am counting there are 35 students, not 36, if I am not wrong.
You are very much right, sir.
So there are 35 students, the groups consisting, there it has been mentioned 12 each. Please mention in which group there are 11 students.
Sir, it is group A where it is 11.
That is your duty, sir. That is kind of my business.
Sir, yes, that is my duty and that has been told to the professor guides as well. They have more.
Third, we will advise the participants, those who have qualified to the third round, to put their mobile in a silent mode. Because otherwise the custodian there where will be putting it, lot of noises will be coming down. It's a sincere request and appeal that please put your mobile under a silent mode. Any calls which are coming, you can later on look into it and you can pass on the messages also. Thank you very much and good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. I think your mobile phones are already in silent mode, right? Once you are in the conference room. Very good. Very good. So yes, I mean, Edicum, Secretary Dr. Banki Mohanty, very well, good point. I mean, very good thing he narrated. Everybody is a winner for all of us. Everybody is winner. So who is not here? There is a round of applause for them for participating in the different ways. I think that is very good. But that is the essence of organizing Yugma year after year. We are trying to combine spiritual and education. So how can you miss this? Thank you so much, boys and girls sitting there. Thank you so much for coming from Jharkhand, from Karib, Buranda, right? Thank you so much for participating. I am sure your juniors are coming to Master premises next year as well for participating in the 11th edition of Yugma, the National Oratory Contest. Okay? With this note, I think we can request the faculty guides of Group A to escort all the students to classroom number 9. Okay? Please, you can leave conference hall and you can get them assembled in classroom number 9. Professor Dipananda Mishra and Dr. Shudha Verma. All the best to all the students of Group A. 11 students in Group A. You are not allowed to carry anything. The mobile phones will be taken by the faculty guides. You will be given with a piece of paper. Yes. You want to keep your mobile phones here? Very good. Wonderful. That's fine. If you have anybody, a relative is there, you can give it to him or her. If not, you can give to the faculty guides. Obviously, you have to carry it. Deepa madam, you can take them to to the next door. Now, I request the faculty guides in the shape of Professor Sunil Mishra and Professor Chaitanya Chandra Bahadur to take the students of Group B to classroom number 10. All the best. Thank you. Pritam, stay back. Pritam, stay back. Group C. Okay. So Dr. Deepikar and Priyanka Jana, you can escort the students to Anandika. We can do the needful as soon as possible. I can see Professor Tipanita still interacting with students. Professor Sisibahu with Chaitanya sir. I would like you to take the students immediately to class number 10. And I am sure Professor Manojan Naik will move as per the agenda because we have something for all the students who will be here for at least 30 minutes of time while all these qualifiers they are getting prepared in different classrooms. In this context, I think we are done. Okay, I think the contestants here, if you can quickly leave conference hall. Archana, please go follow your faculty guides. So now I request Professor Manojan Naik to come forward and take all of us as per the agenda. Professor Manojan, please.
Thank you, Professor Genesis. For further proceeding, I would like to invite Professor Ananya Swami to come to the podium for further proceeding. Madam, please.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Lead Secretary, Dr. Bankim Mohanty, Honorable Principal, Professor Dr. Sharmila Subramanian, respected jury members, director, and all the faculty fraternity present here, and my dear students, and all the participants from across the nation. Well, as we have already declared in Yugma 2026, and we are really honored for your presence and making this event a very grand event. With this note, I would like to utter a few sentences. May this gathering be guided by sincerity, unity, and a deeper aspiration for truth and progress. Let each thought be shared and every action taken be inspired by higher consciousness and dedicated to the collective upliftment of humanity. May harmony prevail, and may the spirit of growth and transformation lead us forward together. With this note, may I request Professor Satyanath Mahapatra to kindly play a video that has been prepared on Shrima and Sri Aurobindo's philosophy. Sir, over to you.
The education of a human being should begin at birth and continue throughout his life. Indeed, if we want this education to have its maximum result, It should begin even before birth. In this case, it is the mother herself who proceeds with this education by means of a twofold action. First, upon herself for her own improvement, and secondly, upon the child whom she is forming physically. For it is certain that the nature of the child to be born depends very much upon the mother who forms it, upon her aspiration and will, as well as upon the material surroundings in which she lives, to see that her thoughts are always beautiful and pure, her feelings always noble and fine, her material surroundings as harmonious as possible, and full of a great simplicity. This is the part of education which should apply to the mother herself. And if she has, in addition, a conscious and definite will to form the child according to the highest ideal she can conceive, then the very best conditions will be realized, so that the child can come into the world with his utmost potentialities. How many difficult efforts and useless complications would be avoided in this way? Education to be complete must have 5 principal aspects corresponding to the 5 principal activities of the human being: the physical, the vital, the mental, the psychic, and the spiritual. Usually, these phases of education follow chronologically the growth of the individual. This, however, does not mean that one of them should replace another, but that all must continue, completing one another until the end of his life. We propose to study these 5 aspects of education one by one, and also their interrelationships. But before we enter into the details of the subject, I wish to make a recommendation to parents. Most parents, for various reasons, give very little thought to the true education which should be imparted to children. When they have brought a child into the world, provided him with food, satisfied his various material needs, and looked after his health more or less carefully, they think they have fully discharged their duty. Later on, they will send him to school and hand over to the teachers the responsibility for his education. There are other parents who know that their children must be educated and who try to do what they can, but very few, even among those who are most serious and sincere, know that the first thing to do in order to be able to educate a child is to educate oneself, to become conscious and master of oneself, so that one never sets a bad example to one's child. For it is above all through example that education becomes effective. To speak good words and to give wise advice to a child has very little effect if one does not oneself give him an example of what one teaches. Sincerity, honesty, straightforwardness, courage, disinterestedness, unselfishness, patience, endurance, perseverance, peace, calm, self-control are all things that are taught infinitely better by example than by beautiful speeches. Parents have a high ideal and always act in accordance with it, and you will see that little by little your child will reflect this ideal in himself and spontaneously manifest the qualities you would like to see expressed in his nature. Quite naturally, a child has respect and admiration for his parents. Unless they are quite unworthy, they will always appear to their child as demigods, whom he will try to imitate as best he can. Education. The science of living. To know oneself and to control oneself. An aimless life is always a miserable life. Every one of you should have an aim, But do not forget that on the quality of your aim will depend the quality of your life. Your aim should be high and wide, generous and disinterested. This will make your life precious to yourself and to others. But whatever your ideal, it cannot be perfectly realized unless you have realized perfection in yourself. To work for your perfection, the first step is to become conscious of yourself, of the different parts of your being and their respective activities. You must learn to distinguish these different parts, one from another, so that you may become clearly aware of the origin of the movements that occur in you, the many impulses, reactions, and conflicting wills that drive you to action. It is an assiduous study which demands much perseverance and sincerity. For man's nature, especially his mental nature, has a spontaneous tendency to give a favorable explanation for everything he thinks, feels, says, and does. It is only by observing these movements with great care, by bringing them, as it were, before the tribunal of our highest ideal, with a sincere will to submit to its judgment, that we can hope to form in ourselves a discernment that never errs. For if we truly want to progress and acquire the capacity of knowing the truth of our being, that is to say, what we are truly created for, what we can call our mission upon earth, then we must, in a very regular and constant manner, reject from us or eliminate in us whatever contradicts the truth of our existence, whatever is opposed to it. In this way, little by little, all the parts, all the elements of our being can be page 3 organized into a homogeneous whole around our psychic center. This work of unification requires much time to be brought to some degree of perfection. Therefore, in order to accomplish it, we must arm ourselves with patience and endurance, with a determination to prolong our life as long as necessary for the success of our endeavor. As you pursue this labor of purification and unification, you must at the same time take great care to perfect the external and instrumental part of your being. When the higher truth manifests, it must find in you a mind that is supple and rich enough to be able to give the idea that seeks to express itself a form of thought which preserves its force and clarity. This thought, again, when it seeks to clothe itself in words, must find in you a sufficient power of expression so that the words reveal the thought and do not deform it, and the formula in which you embody the truth should be manifested in all your feelings, all your acts of will, all your actions, in all the movements of your being. Finally, these movements themselves should, by constant effort, attain their highest perfection. All this can be realized by means of a fourfold discipline, the general outline of which is given here. The 4 aspects of the discipline do not exclude each other and can be followed at the same time. Indeed, this is preferable. The starting point is what can be called the psychic discipline. We give the name psychic to the psychological center of our being, the seat within us of the highest truth of our existence, that which can know this truth and set it in movement. It is therefore of capital importance to become conscious of its presence in us, to concentrate on this presence until it becomes a living fact for us, and we can identify ourselves with it. The science of living. Psychic education and spiritual education. So far, we have dealt only with the education that can be given to all children born upon earth and which is concerned with purely human faculties. But one need not inevitably stop there. Every human being carries hidden within him the possibility of a greater consciousness, which goes beyond the bounds of his present life and enables him to share in a higher and a vaster life. Indeed, in all exceptional beings, it is always this consciousness that governs their lives and organizes both the circumstances of their existence and their individual reaction to these circumstances. What the human mental consciousness does not know and cannot do, this consciousness knows and does. It is like a light that shines at the center of the being, radiating through the thick coverings of the external consciousness. Some have a vague intimation of its presence. A good many children are under its influence, which shows itself very distinctly at times in their spontaneous actions and even in their words. Unfortunately, since parents most often do not know what it is and do not understand what is happening in their child, their reaction to these phenomena is not a good one. And all their education consists in making the child as unconscious as possible in this domain and concentrating all his attention on external things, thus accustoming him to think that they are the only ones that matter. It is true that this concentration on external things is very useful, provided that it is done in the proper way. The three lines of education, physical, vital, and mental, deal with that and could be defined as the means of building up the personality, raising the individual out of the amorphous subconscious mass and making him a well-defined self-conscious entity. With psychic education, we come to the problem of the true motive of existence, the purpose of life on earth, the discovery to which this life must lead, and the result of that discovery. The consecration of the individual to his eternal principle. Normally, this discovery is associated with a mystic feeling, a religious life, because it is mainly the religions that have concerned themselves with this aspect of life. But it need not necessarily be so. The mystic notion of God may be replaced by the more philosophical notion of truth, and still the discovery will remain essentially the same, but the road leading to it may be taken even by the most intransigent positivist. For mental notions and ideas have only a very secondary importance in preparing one for the psychic life. The important thing is to live the experience. That carries with it its own reality and force apart from any theory that may precede or accompany or follow it. For most often, theories are no more than explanations that one gives to oneself in order to have, more or less, the illusion of knowledge. Man clothes the ideal or the absolute he seeks to attain with different names according to the environment in which he is born and the education he has received. The experience is essentially the same, if it is sincere. It is only the words and phrases in which it is formulated that differ according to the belief and the mental education of the one who has the experience. All formulation is thus only an approximation that should be progressive and grow in precision as the experience itself becomes more and more precise and coordinated. Still, to sketch a general outline of psychic education, we must give some idea, however relative it may be, of what we mean by the psychic being. One could say, for example, that the creation of an individual being is the result of the projection, in time and space, of one of the countless possibilities latent in the supreme origin of all manifestation which, through the medium of the one and universal consciousness, takes concrete form in the law or the truth of an individual, and so, by a progressive development, becomes his soul or psychic being. Psychic.
On the other side of the eternal stairs, the mighty kingdoms of the deathless flame aspire to reach the being's absolutes. Out of the sorrow and darkness of the world, out of the depths where life and thought are doomed, lonely mounts up to heaven the deathless flame. In a veiled nature's hallowed secrecies, it burns forever on the altar mind. Its priests, the souls of dedicated gods, humanity's house of sacrifice. Once kindled, never can its flaming cease. If fire along the mystic paths of earth, it rises through the mortal's hemisphere, till borne by runners of the day and dusk, it enters the occult eternal light and clambers whitening to the invisible throne.
In the silence of the heart burns a lamp that can never be extinguished. The fire of an ardent aspiration to know and to live integrally the divine. Aspiration is like an arrow. It rises straight up, very strong, and then it strikes against a kind of a lead, which is there, hard like iron and extremely thick, and it does not pass through. And your aspiration is a drop of water, which instead of falling, rises. And when it makes the whole, suddenly it springs up out of the sleep and enters an immensity of light. It is truly like a great purifying flame of will, and it carries in its core the thing that asks to be realized. In aspiration, there is an unselfish flame which is not present in desire. From the purely psychological point of view, aspiration is a self-giving, while desire is always something which one draws to oneself. Aspiration is a thing to be developed, educated, like all activities of the being. One may be born with a very slight aspiration and develop it so much that it becomes very great. It is precisely upon this that Sri Aurobindo has insisted. He says you must choose, and the choice is constantly put before you, and constantly you must choose. And if you do not choose, well, you will not be able to advance. You must choose. There is no force like that which chooses for you, or chance, or luck, or fate. This is not true. Your will is free. It is deliberately left free, and you have to choose. It is you who decide whether to seek the light or not, whether to be the servitor of the truth or not. It is you. Or whether to have an aspiration or not, it is you who choose. What is necessary is an aspiration which burns in the being like a constant fire. And every time you have a desire, a preference, an attraction, it must be thrown into this fire. If you do this persistently, you will see that a little gleam of true consciousness begins to dawn in your ordinary consciousness. At first, it will be faint, very far behind all the din of desires, preferences, attractions, likings. But you must go behind all this and find the true consciousness, all calm, tranquil, almost silent.
I hope everybody have learnt from the video from Srima Sri Aurobindo's philosophy at Yugma 2026. However, in order to highlight the legacy of Yugma, the national level oratory contest, I would really like to invite the coordinator of Yugma 2026, Professor Jinashish Mahanti, to the dais. Sir, over to you. Let's have a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Professor Ananya. With the permission of expert jury, I would like to take the the August Assembly through the legacy of Yugma, because this is the 10th edition of Yugma, the National Oratory Contest. And we started in the year 2017. The divine truth is greater than any religion or creed or scripture or idea or philosophy. Sure. Getting motivated by this philosophy of Sri Aurobindo, our supreme mentor, Sadhak Bhagavad Prasad Mohanty, germinated the idea of combining spiritualism with education. This germination took place in the year of 2017. That was the first edition of Yugma, the national level contest. And as you can see, the winners of Yugma 2017, starting from Avinash Mohanty from SCS Autonomous College Puri, then Samidha Rathore from CT Bhubaneswar being the first runner-up, and Salini Mahapatra of Silicon Institute of Technology being the second runner-up. And our supreme mentor, Sadhu Bhagavad Prasad Mohanty, was physically present during Yugma 2017. Even we are privileged and blessed to have his presence in the next Yugma, that is Yugma 2018. So if we talk about Yugma 2018, where our supreme mentor Sadhu Bhagavad Prasad Mohanty mentioned, prayer is not to influence God, but to change the nature of the one who prays. And as an outcome, Vanshita Mohanty from DAY Business School, and he was the Yugma winner. She was the Yugma winner. Sukanya De from Government Domains from Baripata was the first runner-up, and Nasreen Par from Redlands University was the second runner-up. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm talking about the legacy of Yugma, which we started from the year 2017 onwards, initially, the gentleman who took the responsibility in organizing Yugma successfully and created a benchmark of celebrating mother's birth anniversary in the shape of Yugma, the National Oratory Contest. This particular gentleman is available today in our office. Boys and girls, would you mind to clap? I'm sure you won't mind. So please clap for Professor Sabyasachi Pradhan. Professor Sabyasachi Pradhan is here, who had taken the responsibility in years back, in 2017, 18, 19, 20, like this, and year after year, he shouldered the responsibility of organizing this National Oratory Contest successfully, with following all the processes, and not only creating a lot of blessings for all of us, but blessing himself as well. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you. Obviously, this takes me to take you all to the next edition of Yugma, the third edition, that is Yugma 2019. I think in 2019 we have Suraj Baral from Silicon Institute of Engineering, Bhubaneswar. So he was the winner, and we have got Niagara Autonomous College as well as from SCS Autonomous College Puri. They were declared as the first runner-up and second runner-up respectively. You see, I mean, there are, yes, of course, we used to receive a lot of participation from across the state, from across the country. But if you find there are certain institutes which have actually established the dominance in winning the trophy. You'll find institution names like SC Medical College, Silicon Institute of Technology. These names are getting repeated again and again. So let us go to Yugma 2020, where Pritiman Mishra from SC Medical College was the champion. He won the Yugma trophy along with cash prize worth ₹25,000. Beside him, Sanat Swain from Silicon Institute of Technology and Soumya Amlan from SC Medical College again was the second runner-up. Here I would like to highlight one particular thing. We have a tradition of inviting the Yugma champion of last year to this year edition. So today in the evening you will find the champion of Yugma 2025 gracing this conference hall, and he will be there and he will love to share his experience. Now when Pritiman Mishra, we asked Pritiman Mishra, the champion of Yugma trophy in 2020, when we asked about his experience, he's a doctor by profession, right? Now you'll have goosebumps to hear, to listen what Pritiman Mishra said. Because I used to operate, because he's a doctor, so he used to operate. But the connection comes from the top in the operation theatre. Well, I am just a medium to operate. But if somebody else does the operation through me, this is what the kind of feeling Pritiman Mishra can witness after being crowned as the champion of Yugma in 2020. Don't you think it is a kind of miracle? Yes, no? Don't you think we are satisfying the very purpose of organizing Yugma year after year? If this kind of transformation, if this kind of realization, undergraduate students like Pritiman can tell after a year while doing his duty in Pondicherry, in Chandigarh University, then I think obviously we are fulfilling the purpose of organizing Yugma year after year. Now if I talk about Yugma 2021, we did have Subhasri Subhadarshini from High Tech Medical College as the champion in Yugma 2021, and from SC Medical College, Sabya Sarangi was the first runner-up, whereas Dipalita Jina from OUT was the second runner-up. Let us go to Yugma 2022. From the picture you can see Piyush Ranjan Mishra again from SC Medical College. Okay, in fact, SC Medical College, there was a kind of news in SC Medical College. Okay, I mean, Pritiman jaake jeet ke aa gaya, tum log kya kar rahe ho? So Pritiman won in the year 2020. Okay, so 2021 again SC Medical College, Sabya Sarangi became the first runner-up. Whereas in 2022, Piyush Ranjan Mishra from SC Medical College got the crown.
Both mentored by
Yes.
both mentored by
Oh, wonderful. This is a very good feedback from Professor Sabya Sachi that
both of them
Sabya Sarangi, the first runner-up of Yugma 2021, and Piyush Ranjan Mishra, the champion of Yugma 2022, both were mentored by Pritiman Mishra, the champion of Yugma 2022. So then we have Barsha Priyadarshini from Basic Science College, who was adjudged as the first runner-up in Yugma 2022, and Avinash Prasad from Silicon was the second runner-up. Now, if we talk about Yugma 2023, we should have a lot of openness for SC Medical College. Shishir Maharana again was the champion in Yugma 2023. You see dominance of SC Medical College in Yugma. Okay, Shishir Maharana was the champion, whereas Subhajit Biswas from Silicon Institute of Technology was the first runner-up, and Yash Mandi from Utkal was the second runner-up. In Yugma 2023, there was a memorable moment. We recognized Professor Dr. Swarup Chandra Sahu and his contribution to the management education in Odisha by giving the Lifetime Achievement Award. This thing happened during Yugma 2023. And boys and girls were very young, maybe of his grandchildren's age. Professor Dr. Surachandra Sahu is known as the Bhishma Pitamaha of management education in the state of Odisha. And we gave the Lifetime Achievement Award to Professor Dr. Surachandra Sahu in the year 2000, during Yugma 2023. If I talk about Yugma 2024, another round of applause. Ipsidas White again from SC Medical College. You see, SC is dominating. I mean, it is dominated till now. And Sonal Satpathy from OUTR, he stood as the first runner-up, whereas Sashwati Shomya Swami from Ravenshaw University, she was the second runner-up. By the way, I think Professor Asif is here. Sir, please check. I think we are done with the in the respiratory rooms because 25 minutes were given. So if you can just check, then immediately we can start the process. Then it actually takes me to take you all to Yugma 2025, which we blissfully organized last year, and where so many will sit from NLU. That is absolutely National Law University, right? We said in Yugma 2025, Ilu, and Sumya said, I am from NLU. This is how we appreciated Soumya and Dixit during Yugma 2025. And Shomya Agrawal from SU Medical College was the first runner. Then finally, Ayushkan Bal from Institute of Pharmacy Technology, Salipur. He was adjudged as the second runner-up in Yugma 2025. So this is the entire legacy. Sri Bhagirathi Mahapatra, Chief Mentor, we with respect call him Bhagi Bhai, Dr. Ashok Mangra's friend, philosopher, guide, and well-wisher of Master School of Management, very fondly we call Ashok Bhai, and to many of us he is one of the Zipkira, Professor Samira Subramanian, the torch bearer, the academic torch bearer of Master School of Management. They are the people who gave us, who allowed us to create this kind of legacy in Yugma, the national oratory contest, year after year. So can you have a round of applause for this expert jury? Thank you so much, thank you so much for allowing us to generate this kind of legacy. Thank you so much. I request Professor Anandaswamy to do the needful and will proceed this program. Thank you everybody. Sir, now we are done with the preparation. So, group B, group C, take your seats here. And group A students are present. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir.
Excellent.
We are shortly going to start the oral presentation round, that is the stage 3 of Yugma 2026. So we are just waiting for the groups to join the auditorium and the jury to be ready so that we can start it as fast as possible. Thank you.
एमनी स्वीट ब्लॉग
बैक करीबन बस देखे तो देखा Ya está. Bueno.
These students are coming. Can we have a round of applause for group B students? Seven. Nine. 11, 12. Sir, appoint you also. Hello, sir, upon city also. So this is group B, okay? Group C. So group C is again entering. Let us welcome that. Zero to one, group C, group B. All the certificates will send to group C. And BH Madam, Dr. Kar. Right. Now, break on upcoming group.
Let's have a round of applause for Group 3 and Group 2. As per the faculty members are also there, the faculty guides in the shape of Professor Bahadur, Professor Sunil, Professor Priyanka, Dr. Kar. Let's have a round of applause for all the faculty mentors and the groups, Group B and Group C. Askians.
So, Madam, we are having the first contestant of group 1.
Sir, we are ready, sir.
Group A.
Group 1, yes.
Group A.
Jury members, are we ready? Okay. Group A, first contestant. Yes. In the shape of Anandita Mishra from BJP Autonomous. I request Jinashi sir. So are we ready to start, sir?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's have a huge round of applause for the first contestant of Group A in the shape of Anandita Mishra from BJP Autonomous College. Please have a round of applause and please come to the stage. Hello. Hello.
I mean, there should be indication. Time starts, Asit sir. Yeah, then only Anindar will start.
Oh, mother, I'm a foolish child of yours. I don't know your tantra, I don't know your mantra, I don't know your mudras. Neither do I know your prayers. But I know that a child can be the worst of all, but a mother can never be a bad mother. And you, mother, you are the supreme. Anandamai, Chaitanyamai, Satyamai Paramai. The supreme Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati. Today, in the audiovisual I hear too, I was taught about aiming, understanding the science of life and how to achieve what I aim and the discipline to have and train the psychological center of our body. We know to human is to err. We are human because we make mistakes. My senses have given up to the pravriti. My disciplines run shallow in my worldly distraction. But you, O Ma, guide me to look inside me. You become Maheshwari in me, consuming all my sorrow and looking back at me with also divine bliss. You become Mahakali and destroy the obstacles and the hindrances in the path of my development. You become Mahalakshmi and bless me with the elixir of life and take me to the transcendental world, which is the sole aim of your vision. You become Mahasaraswati and give me the knowledge to aim, to know what to aim and to achieve discipline. Till tomorrow when I walked through the hall, I was looking at this trophy and this trophy was my aim. But today when I went through the audiovisual, I went through what Sri Aurobindo and Ma have to offer to us. My vision is for Yugma. The Yugma which Ma stands for, the yoga, the integral yoga which takes all of us together, the union with the divine self, the grace which Ma wants to imbibe in us, Ma herself to stand with us, and the aspiring of Om inside us. I have an example for all of you. When a pot is underdeveloped and you want to carry water in it, will it ever help you take water and supply it to others? But when a pot is perfectly developed, you not only can take water and supply it to the thirsty, but also carry other substances in it. Just like that, today in the Science of Living, Sri Aurobindo and Ma taught me that before you advise anyone else, become perfect yourself. If I'm not getting up at 6 a.m., I'm not going to tell anyone to get up at 6 a.m. Till I don't perfect myself, I cannot put the bliss. Till I'm not perfect, I'm not able to get divine discipline inside me. So I want Yugma and all to have this transcendental discipline inside yourself, develop your psychological centers, and let's have it within us. Thank you. Thank you. The next contestant is Musha Venkoshi Tabaka Mangena from C.V. Raman Global University. Please.
What distinguishes winners and losers is the mentality that winners never quit and quitters never win. The English saying goes, acting without thinking is like shooting without aiming. It becomes hopeless to expect to hit the target. In a world where everyone is chasing fame, money, wealth, and status, we should strive to be perfect. But what is perfection? Nelson Mandela once said, I have never wanted to be considered as a saint unless your definition of a saint is a person who keeps failing but keeps on trying. Ultimate perfection can never be realized, but it is that zeal and labor for perfection that makes us or gives us our life's meaning. But in a world where hard work is not paid, corruption rules, honesty is criticized, discrimination according to race, religion, and skin color, how do you cope or keep yourself intact physically, emotionally, and mentally? This is where the concept of integrating the physical, emotional, spiritual being then comes from. What is the science of living? To me, I think it is the uniqueness of our lifestyle integrated with moral values, humility, humbleness, compassion, and the zeal to be better than yesterday. How do you group the science of living? By simply knowing yourself. How do you know yourself? By simply aspiring to perfection. And how do you exactly do that? By reaching the highest form of consciousness, that is through yoga. But this only happens to a soul that is solidly stable, intact physically and emotionally. The 7 deadly sins are the most crucial elements which hinder us from attaining the state of consciousness, stability, and purification. Mother once said, to love oneself is the greatest gratitude you can make to the divine. How do you do that? By ensuring that you strive to be better than yesterday, work towards purification and nobility. Only then can you have a complete life in the direction of nobility and divinity. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Next contestant is Prachi Pratyasha Mishra from SAB Medical College. Prachi Pratyasha Mishra. Prachi Pratyasha Mishra from SAB Medical College. Let's have a round of applause.
Salutations at the lotus feet of Shrima and Shri Aurobindo, respected jury. 8 million species in the world, and only one has the ability to understand and interpret. What a blessing and what a waste at the same time. No, my friend, it becomes a blessing the moment you realize what is your purpose in life, what is your aim in life, what you are sent for in this world. Because man is a transitional point between ignorance and knowledge, between ego and divinity, right? So when I think about aim, I do not mean by progressing technically, progressing in this materialistic world. I mean by the idea, for all the materialistic thing, I will be known by who I am in this life. But for what I become, I will be known when I leave this earth. For the purpose I am serving, I will be known when I leave this earth. To walk for perfection, we need to understand what our aim is. Our aim is to align our mind at the level of supramental consciousness. Supramental consciousness, what does it mean? If this is the mental level of consciousness, this is supramental consciousness, the one with which we need to align ourselves. Our aim is not to only evolve biologically. Our aim is to surrender to the divine. Our aim is to unify our mind with that to the highest truth. And our aim is to elevate our mental state. As a saying goes like, Uddharate Atmana Atmana, which means to elevate your mind at any conditions anywhere, everywhere possible, and to think at the level of the divine grace. But isn't it that I will be able to surrender by contradicting myself? Am I doing right in my life? Am I a good person ever? Am I doing what I need to do for my aim? Believe yourself and live the life like a candle. Provide light before you melt, not like an ice cream. Enjoy before you melt, right? So at last I would like to say that we need to understand our psychic presence in us and to align with the level of that. Thank you.
Next we have Avinash Nag from Panchayat College. Let's have a round of applause.
Let me first begin with a question that does not need only attention but also introspection. Imagine a ship, strong, unlimited fuel in the ocean, but it doesn't have any destination. This ship is a perfect metaphor for human without having an aim. We wake up early, go to school, eat, and do our day-to-day lives. But if we don't have an aim in the life, it is just only a mechanical life, but not a practical life. We are the creation of God, and according to Shrima and Sri Aurobindo, we all have unique abilities, unique characters, and unique work to achieve in this land. Let me give some examples. You know Arijit Singh, the singing sensation? If Arijit Singh had not dreamed about becoming a singer, then do you feel that he would have become the greatest singer of this era? No, right? Let's take the example of APJ Abdul Kalam. If Abdul Kalam has not aimed about becoming a scientist, then today, I think that we have not found our missile man of India. If the Indian cricket team would not have aimed to achieve the ICC 2025 Champions Trophy, then I feel that today also the trophy has been put in New Zealand. Dear countrymen, let's move to the freedom struggle now. If our freedom fighters has not aimed about attaining the Purna Swaraj, then today also we have been working under the British colonial rule, deprived and oppressed brutally. If the government of India has not aimed to eradicate polio from this country, then today also we would have individuals suffering from polio. If our scientists had not dreamed about discovering a vaccine for corona, then before coming to this competition, we would have remained in a quarantine, then have attended this competition. If ISRO has not aimed to achieve Moon and Mars through Mangalyaan and Chandrayaan, then today also we would have been watching Moon and Mars through telescopes and just saying Chanda Mama Durigi. In conclusion, dear countrymen, I would say that when we have an aim, it acts like a compass for us. Every action that we take in our life is guided by our aim. This is the science of living life, physically, mentally, and spiritually, which guides us throughout our journey of living. This is the way that we live and dwell with our life. At last but not the least, I would say that संभव है सब कुछ, असंभव कुछ नहीं. संभव है सब कुछ, असंभव कुछ नहीं. कर हौसले बुलंद, दूर कुछ भी नहीं. With this, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you. Next we have Adyasha Anushka Shahul from Silicon University.
We have all heard this infamous quote, an aimless life is like a riderless ship. Now tell me, what is the difference between a vagabond and a pilgrim? Both travel the same distance, but a vagabond is tired, lost and miserable, whereas a pilgrim is tired yet inspired. The difference is the pilgrim has a spiritual purpose and inspiration. An aim. A student who has a degree but who does not know what to do with it is jobless. Yes, having an aim is indeed important, but we should know to distinguish between aim, blind aim and unrealistic aim. Human wants are unlimited and sky is the limit for us. An unrealistic aim will only bring unfulfillment and misery. Now what do I mean by a blind aim? Imagine you want to be a doctor, but when you were young, but for whatever reason, situation forces you to become an engineer. But now you cannot accept that and you have a blind aim. A blind aim is stubborn and lets you get stuck. Sri Aurobindo says the journey of man should be to evolve into its highest consciousness. And for that, we need to understand that evolution is required in every part of life, and so as our aim. The mother says that the ultimate aim of mankind should be self-perfection. The first step is to become self-aware. When you are aware, you can set an aim that is drawn from values, and the next thing we need to practice is detachment from the very particular aim. Detachment from the outcome and the capacity to take both success as well as failure. Human mind loves to divide and create puzzles that it cannot solve eventually. One part of us wants happiness, one wants comfort, another wants luxury, but the other requires peace. A true aim is like an anchor during adversity. Let me take the example of Thomas Alva Edison. How could he go after failing 10,000 times while inventing the light bulb? Because he never took it as a failure. For him, it was stepping stones close to success. He let his subconscious believe that he will eventually reach where he has to be, and eventually everything will align for his highest good. Now, since we human beings, our mind is always trying to confuse us, and for that we need to surrender to the divine and trust the process. Let me take the example of a lotus, which shows us the best example of science of life. A lotus which grows in swamp, yet it is considered as the symbol of spiritual awakening. It grows, it sees the sun, and it knows that one day it will bloom perfectly. And there is not a single speck of mud on its petals. And another thing we forget to notice that a single particular petal of lotus is not as beautiful as collectively it looks. And that teaches us individual human unity in mankind. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Ashiki Sikdar from Christ College.
The life of an aimless man is not just a miserable tool, but it carries a profound sense of futility and a lack of direction. Before you understand the statement, how about I suggest a question? If I asked you all to plan a day without any meetings, any lectures, any thought process, just eat, sleep, repeat. Tempting, right? Specifically to students, to corporate officers, to teachers as well. Because who doesn't love to just eat, sleep and repeat? But how long before you get bored of it? Because during COVID, that was exactly our routine. Just wake up in the morning, have some food, watch news, again sleep, and repeat the process. We got so tired of it that we started asking teachers, please conduct online classes. Please do something, we want to attend classes. Aimless life is not just a boredom, not just sadness. It lacks direction. It lacks the will to put in effort for the day. And aim does not mean that I'll just complete my step goals. Aim does not mean that I want to have my preferred food today. Aim can be what you want to become, what you want to attain. For people who are gym freaks, aim could be maintaining a certain physique, having good diet. For people who pursue spirituality, it could be seeking knowledge, seeking what divine means. For people who are curious, it could mean reading more books, going to places. For people who love to travel, it could be going to new places, trying new cuisines. Aim is different for every single person. But aim comes with desire. The desire to achieve our goals as quickly as possible. The desire to follow a little corruption on the way just to get easier access to our ultimate goal. That is where the control comes. That is where one's self-consciousness arises. Being conscious does not mean knowing what you believe in, what you are good at. It means understanding what drives you, what are your impulsive decisions, and what actually means to you. I would like to conclude that as a retired person who does not have a passion or an aim might succumb to unhealthy habits and whatnot, a sadness that never ends. But on the other hand, a person who has passion, who has hobbies, who has the will to experience a life beyond work, they are vibrant, they are healthy, they are happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Sobhagya Sahu from UN Autonomous College. Let's have a round of applause.
If you want to be the revolution in the world, you have to be the evolution first. As Sri Aurobindo tells that there was nothing in the world. The matter exists. From matter, the plants evolve. From plants, the ocean evolved. And from ocean, the life evolved. As like that, the reason behind the complete evolution was manual. But nowadays, there is a twist. It all depends on your supramental minds. That told by the Aurobindo. The God, the Allah, the Jesus, everyone will help you if you help yourself. A reporter asked Phillips, 28 gold medalists in Olympics, what is the reason you got 28 medals in the Olympics? He just said that it's practice. He said, oh, just practice? He said, no, it's not just practice. It's the practice of 5 to 6 years. Because when he was sick, he took practice. And when his mental condition was not good, he was although practicing. He was relentless. Just put blinders on your eyes and do practice. Just put the blinders in your eyes and do practice. It all include, when we practice the integral yoga, it all include the politics, education and everything. And it all included by the integral yoga. Do you know a less competent, a less educated and less knowing person getting more achievements from you? The reason is he is doing continuous practice. The evolution is going through on and on. That's why he is getting awarded. So if you want to achieve anything, if you want to achieve anything in your life, as I have said yesterday, अगर तुम किसी भी चीज को अगर तुम किसी भी चीज को अपने शिद्दत से चाहते हो, तो पूरी कायनात उसे तुम्हारे साथ मिलाने में जुट जाती है. As Shahrukh Khan said, you have to do that. You have to be committed towards your goal. You have to dedicate it. You have to be focused towards your goal if you want this level of achievement. So, before ending my speech, I want to say that the consciousness of your mind, can reach there, and it all can do by the integral yoga. So we must practice. It in life and add that in our life to go to that stage. Because God also helps us when the human or itself, we helps us. That's all for today. Thank you. Vande Mataram.
Thank you so much. The next contestant is Anirudh Mahapatra from BJP Autonomous College. Let's have a round of applause.
Good afternoon to the three members and whatever present here. Manifestation of one truthfulness comes when one knows what to manifest, how to manifest, and the idea that needs to be manifested. For that, the one who turns the west to the east, the mother, Mira Alfasa, said, "A person without an ambition is a person with a miserable life." What that is mean, the science of life, that we say that in order to understand the world, first you need to understand yourself. For that true cause, I here by the Prince of Divinity, I am going to represent the most important points that you need to focus and you need to understand how Mira Alfasa became the mother and how you need to become how you have come here to become. The first point is you need to understand that before judging everyone else, observe yourself. That is the first foremost point. When you observe what you are speaking, understand it. Observe what you are speaking, observe how you are speaking, observe how you are sleeping, observe how you are eating, observe each and every point of your life. That's how you need to understand that what you are doing. Are you doing the truth? Everyone said that to choose a lot of things, one day you will find a way. No, that's a very nice thing, but I speak here the most important thing, that is, first know who you are, know your own self. By knowing only your own self, you do not need to find the path will find you. The idea will automatically come to your brain. That's what it is. First point, observe your own self. When you observe your own self, you may be thinking it's a very late process. No, my dear, it's a very easy way. In that you need to do one thing is accept yourself, have perseverance, have faith in the divinity Lord. If that person, that whosoever the power is standing there weaving the thought into you, means he had chosen you on earth to do something. And yes, you are focusing on the right path. Believe in yourself. The second most important thing you need to do is the instrumentation of yourself. If you are alive, you will be doing something. So check on your health and make the instrument right, so that when the idea comes, you should be alive. Now you need to understand what you need to do. Then slowly change yourself. When you will change yourself thread by thread, the manifestation of the real idea will change into the cloth. The cloth weaving around you will make the idea in you. That's how the idea becomes you and you become the idea. For I need to understand what is God. That's how I become the God. In order to understand the truthfulness of life has become pure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Aditya Mahapatra from NSM City College. Round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I don't have to introduce myself because ma'am has taken my name Aditya Mahapatra from NSM City College, Qatar. So now the topic is an aimless life is always a miserable life. Suppose let's take an example. You are riding a vehicle in a highway or road, whatever it does mean. Anyone just drive and drive and drive? No, because every driver has to set its destination. You are the driver of your vehicle, that is life. Without setting destination, your vehicle is directionless. So, and driver driving life or even a vehicle is directionless can maybe chaotic. Okay, so nobody will know when your road will end, and it can be a beautiful scenery, but also has a chance to get end with unexpected destinations. If we don't drive a vehicle without destination, friends, how can we imagine without aim a life? Like it's directionless, and friends, setting an aim is not necessary. Like driving a car without fuel and driving skills. You have to work for it, and always remember, never do hard work. You are not labor to achieve your aim. You have to do smart work. Don't always listen others' examples. Try to be the example, be the reason for others, be the example for others, and be the idol for them. I say always that keep going until your idols become your rivals. Always try to be like a sheep which is silent and calm, but it can also distract everything in a few seconds, right? People say that I have set an aim, I couldn't achieve it. Question yourself that Have you given your best? Did you try your best? See, I am giving a sloka from Bhagavad Gita. Karma ne vidaka raste, ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phale hetu, ma phalesa satkarmani. That even Sri Krishna says that don't wait for your fruits, don't expect your fruits. You do your work, and you should be like you should do your karma, not to expect your what it will be happen, what about the what will be the result for it. Your aim should be high and wide, not like just I want a small job and this and that. Your attitude will decide your altitude. People who can sleep at petrol pump and can aim and build a company like Reliance Industries, then why we still have food and shelter? Thank you.
Aditya Mahapatra. So, proceeding further, the next contestant is Rohit Sharma from Current City College. Let's have a round of applause for Rohit Sharma.
Good morning, honorable dignitaries and my dear friend. My topic is the science of living life. The real aim of my life, and all of you sitting here, is service of our parent, who is a real creator. Through them, we doesn't exist here. Everything is around us due to our mother only. I stand here to speak due to my mother. And whatever I represent here, that is my mother's behavior, other culture that I have inherited from him. One of the foremost goal of human life is to be the service of our parent. Because mother is one who shapes our future. Mother is one who took our hand and showed a direction that go to the right path. But if we do not follow our creator, that is our mother, that our life will become to no irreversible region, that is misery. That depends on other. Like if you see a beggar in a temple, what he do? He doesn't follow the guidelines of his mother, and ultimately is on the temple for asking people, so give me money, give me money. So if we follow the guidelines of mother, that we will in the temple by praying them. If we do not follow the guidelines, we sitting outside the temple and depending on other, that they will come and help us. So our goal is to serve our parents and learn from whatever they taught, whatever they give, and always follow their instructions. Sri Aurobindo said that human life is a transition state. That means every action is in a transition form, and it is up to us whether we take it the right way or take it the wrong way. If we take it in the right way, that will ultimately lead to the achievement of goal. If we do not take it casually, do not follow the direction, ultimately it result to the false direction, and our life will become a hell. Today is the era of 21st century. All of you are moving in a globalization, that is no one is isolated. But one thing is common in globalization, that mother. Everywhere is a mother. If there is no mother, there is no creature. So in the modernization world, all of you go to the running of metaphysical world, that is earning of wealth. And everything in the today's era is on account of wealth. How much wealth do you have? If you have a wealth, then you will go to the first apartment of the train and having a luxurious journey. If you do not have the wealth, then you have to sit in a general seat and face the real circumstances of the life. This shows that how the wealth play in our life, and how we gain the wealth by serving our parent. Because our parent is a bank of wealth. They give us value, teachings through which we make our life in a right way. If we do not follow our parents' instruction, ultimately our life will get into hell. We should look the mother. He followed the directions of this Sri Aurobindo and transformed the entire India. We shall also learn from Sri Aurobindo. By staying in the West country, he adopted the motherland and keep the goal that service of motherland is the service of first. So we should always keep in our mind that our mother is our foremost goal. Before moving to the fourth tier, we should always pray our mother. He is a real administration of our life. Thank you.
I need to notify the jury members that this will be the last contestant for group A. Requesting Megha Satpathy from IGIT Saran. Let's have a round of applause for Megha.
Nainan chindanti shastrani, nainan dahati pavaka, na chayna kledayantapo, na shoshyati maruta. This body may be transitional, but Atma is a continuation of the divine. And if the divine has chosen to manifest itself in this body at this point of time, how can we ever believe that our life may be purposeless? Placing my warmest regard at the lotus feet of Shrima, Shri Aurobindo, and our esteemed dignitaries present here. This is Megha Satpathy from IGIT Sarang, standing before you to present my thoughts before these dazzling stars of future India. When we preach that everyone should have an aim in life, we often forget that our aim, our purpose in life has already been pre-decided. It is up to us to realize that aim, to understand what our purpose in this life is. The science of living reiterates that this very idea, in order to achieve the higher truth, in order to have the higher truth attained or manifest before us, we must elevate our worthiness, our patrata. Because only because Arjuna had that patrata did Lord Krishna come to help him. You cannot achieve your aim, you cannot even know what your aim in life without having the worthiness to understand it. By becoming conscious of ourselves, by eliminating everything that contradicts the truth of our existence, we are in a way preparing this body to pursue the purpose of the Atma. Karma Yoga, practice of Nishkama Yoga, is the best way to do this. As students, even as professionals, pursuing education is our foremost karma. But we must first understand what real education is. Sa vidya ya vimukta. Education is what liberates not just from ignorance, but from arrogance, indifference, and the illusion that our life may even be purposeless at all. Only when we are on the path of true education, true wisdom, can we become conscious of ourselves, conscious of what contradicts our existence, and ultimately conscious of what our true aim in life is. Anandamai, Chaitanyamai, Satyamai. When you purify your Chaitanya, then you can see your Satya and attain Ananda for yourself and for the entire world. I do not have any rights to conclude this speech because this speech has already been concluded by the Almighty. Karmanyavadi karaste ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phalaheturbu mate sangosto karme. The journey must always start with karma. Only then can it end with yoga, the grace of the divine that propels you to achieve your aim in life. That's all. Thank you.
Let's have a round of applause for Group A. We are through with all the presentations by Group A. Now, with the permission of the jury members, can I call the contestants of Group B? Thank you. So, the first contestant of Group B is yes, the topic was education is the topic. Okay. So, the first contestant is Ayushman Kumar Sharma from Karit City College. Let's have a round of applause.
Good afternoon, respected jury members and everyone present here. I am Ayushman. Ever since the dawn of human history, we have been evolving as a creature, that is physically, from four-legged creatures to bipedal and eventually even touching moon. It is indeed true that education wholeheartedly depends on the evolution of a person. Education is a preparation of life. The worst critique of modern or traditional education is that it is not directly linked with life. In this case, even with the divine blessings of the mother, integral education comes into play. Integral education helps a child perfect his life, that is socially, universally, and individually. It helps a child evolve throughout his life, because life is not just about biological survival, but it is the evolution of consciousness that we have to go through that help a child truly perfect his life. We see that most of the confusion regarding the aim and the attitude of the education starts with one misconception, that is making materialistic pleasures as our goal, and the success and progress of our life depends on it. We try to find happiness with our physical senses, vital desires, and mental delight, and try to buy that with money. This is the core of world crisis. We see today whether it's social discrimination or economic inequality. We cannot find happiness by the pursuit of our career or pleasures, but through discovery of divine and trying to manifest it into oneself. And this is the motive of right education. Man is neither spirit nor matter. Man is integral. And therefore, he needs integral education, which brings back the authority of spirit over matter. By going through the process of self-discovery, we can finally transform from man to supermanhood. First, we need to become conscious of ourselves. This should be the first parameter of a right education, that is integral. By truly knowing how our reactions, how our impulses, and how the preferences of our mind is going, we can truly then move on to purification. That is rejection of mental demands, our desires. Sri Aurobindo mentioned that it is not a violent rejection of life, but moving towards a controlled will. In conclusion, the education from birth till death should not be able to impart the idea of living, but through unification with nature. I can summarize the whole topic in 3 words, that is divinity, humility, and reflectivity. Thank you.
Thank you, Anushma. The next contestant is L. Dimple Sai Reddy from RCM. Let's have a round of applause.
Radhisha, I would like to start with do not take pride, garv. Rather, seek the power to contain, garb sanskar, the womb of a woman from where the actual real education begins from. We gather here at Yugma, which signifies union. But let's question ourselves, union of what? Parents, faculties, students, society, media. It is a very beautiful union of like-minded souls where education finally meets its destination, which is spiritual identity. And spirituality is not philosophy. It is a real-time experience where if you inculcate the 5 elements of earth, Pancha Tattva within yourselves, before becoming anything, doctor, engineer, actor, manager, you will become a human being first with intellect. And for that higher intellect, you need 6 M's in life. Mantra, to channelize your mind. Meditation, to create the inner silence, which will protect your energy and aura from the loudest of noise in the outside world. Meal and movement. Treat your body as your temple. Mastery. Master your mind before that masters you. Hence we say, मन से बड़ा बहरूपी ना कोई, पल पल रचता स्वांग निराले. तू इस मन का दास ना बन, इस मन को अपना दास बना ले. And meaning, transformation of each and every action into seva. Standing on a national stage, competition triggers us. But I believe if we stop fighting for the 1 lakh cash prize and start speaking for the divine, then and there our anxiety will automatically transform into authority. And education, it is waste if we do not know how to love. सबसे बड़ा है प्रेम जगत में, प्रेम सा ना कुछ दूजा, प्रेम स्वयं ईश्वर का रूप है, प्रेम की सच्ची पूजा. And apart from the bookish knowledge, there are 3 pillars of education. Sutra for the intellectual, Stotra for the emotional vibration, and Shastra for the practical, logical and scriptural mapping. And for a very successful educational, academic, personal, spiritual, professional life, there are 6 D. Desire, which is the starting point of aspiration. Discipline, the consistency to progress. Determination, the strongest mindset and mentality. Dedication, the unwavering commitment. Detachment, learn the art of not taking things personally. The art of letting go, the art of solitude. And lastly, devotion, which is the unification of Atma with the Paramatma. What's done is done, what's gone is gone, but the only constant in life is always moving on. So I invite you all, move beyond the competition, be a soul ready to serve the community, the society and the nation. I would like to conclude by saying that धीरे धीरे छाँव में रंग बनके, उड़ी उड़ी जाऊं मैं तरंग बनके, खोल के अपने ये पसारे, हवा से खेलूं मैं पतंग बनके, मैं बांटूं सबको उजाले, चांद छूने का अरमान है, ये शिक्षा की उड़ान है और ये हौसला की उड़ान है. That's what. Thank you so much. गौर प्रेमानंद श्री हरि हरि बोल. राधे राधे.
Thank you, Dimple. The next contestant is Komal Rani Das from BJP Autonomous. Let's have a round of applause.
हे परमात्मा, हे महेश्वर, at the lotus feet of the mother, I, a child of her, surrender myself to her divine presence. I am Komal, but I am nobody. Today, those 5 minutes of the video changed my goal from that beautiful trophy which I want to memorize at my home till go back to my mother and say her, thank you, Mama. When I talk of education, from the birth till the end of the life, I thought, is it really true from my perspective? I felt that, as said, education is not when you take birth. It's not when you are in the womb of your mother. It's not when your mother was in the womb of her mother. It started from the beginning. It started from, there was the infinite force of the divine. When I talk of education, I think of a single vibration against the child from the mother can change the path of the child. They perceive the first principle of teaching that it can be taught by Sri Ma, the Maheshwari herself. At the divine feet of her, I understood one simple point. Integral yoga should be the point of realization of every human who wants to have an offspring in the future, who wants to guide their children towards the divine presence, who wants to raise a child who can serve the nation, and the child who can serve the nation can serve humanity. And my delivery here is, I place for world peace. Today, when I think of all the problems started from the parents when they thought that physical as well as just giving them the mental education will be enough. No. The psychic education, the education of spirituality, the integral education in the degree is what will make a human a human. It's what will make a child of dignity, a child of perseverance, a child to be remembered, a child of the Supreme Mother herself, a child of the universe. When I thought of the day Mother said that, according to the view of Aurobindo, in 1936 of 24th February, just 2 days ahead from my Imam, I will say that she said the beautiful presence of Yugma, the yoga, the union, the yoga, the union, the grace of the Mother herself in the womb and aspiration. She said that this world is unhappy. The education is not fulfilled because the world is not fulfilled. It's transitional. When I talked to Sir yesterday, Sir Dr. Ashok said there are various audience. I am the audience today who states that yoga and education should be together, and the birth of the education is the birth of the yoga herself in the heart of human. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Srima. Thank you, the audience.
Thank you, Komal. Next, we have Harneet Bawa from Karim City College. Let's have a round of applause.
Good afternoon, one and all, and respected jury. As humans, we always tend to follow what we see around us and what we have been taught since the very beginning. If differentiating on the basis of upper class and lower class is normalized in a surrounding, everybody inclines towards it. However, if equality is given priority, everyone will follow it. This shows that how much our surroundings, our company matters. The societal image of good education is a good degree, a good job, a perfect life, high status. Hardly people pay attention to what real education is. The real education lies in your behavior, in your thoughts, in your actions. All of us has been taught that parents are our first teachers. Indeed, they are. Children follow and learn what they observe around them in their homes. Mothers often surround themselves with good vibe, peaceful environment, and by observing divine energy so that the newborns will be as quiet, kind, and beautiful as nature. Real education also lies in practicality. If we ourselves completely with only the theoretical knowledge and not apply it in the real world, your existence is useful. The efforts, the struggle, the time spent on you for your own well-being and for you to become an intellect becomes zero. Everyone will give you suggestions and divert you from the real track. However, you have to stick to your morals. Being an educated person and not being an intellect, not only be an educated person, be an intellect, not only to flex your personality, not only to earn, but also to help the needy, to spread love, kindness, to care, to think, and to pass on your morals to your future generations. In the conclusion, I would like to state that understand the true meaning of education because nobody wants a person in power with a status, high degree, with no humanity. However, we do need people who are true examples of God's creation and looking upon whom we can say that humanity is still alive. Thank you.
Thank you. The next contestant is Luanta Lamiso Kulisi from SOA University. Luanta Lamiso from SOA University. Let's have a round of applause.
Education starts from childbirth till the end of life. Think about that. Greetings everyone, I'm Lamison Kolisi, and I will start by this famous saying that goes, we learn until we die. And that is true, because the day we first set our foot on this earth, taking those little steps, saying those few words, Mama, Papa, we are learning. We grow and grow until we grow. But now, what is education without our educators? We can never learn without our educators. Fortunately for us, we have our biggest educator, the teacher, the mother. Our mother teaches us about our inner well-being. Then there is our second mother, the one who gives birth to us, who teaches us a lot of things. Education of human being starts even before birth, that I've mentioned already. But for maximum results, it should start before birth. You can never get educated now that you are old. Everything starts before birth until you die, unfortunately. It is the mother who proceeds education. And by doing this, he has to do these twofold actions, which are herself and her child forming physically. By this, I mean, her mother, in order to educate her child, he must also be educated. How can you educate someone else when you yourself doesn't know anything? But the nature of the child to be born depends upon the mother who forms upon the aspiration and material surroundings. By that I mean, if she has the conscious, definite, to form the child to the highest ideal, she can conceive by realizing the best conditions for the child to come out of the earth with potentialism. But before I continue, there are five principal aspects for education to be complete. And that's for the growth of the individual. Those aspects include physical, vital, mental, psychic, and spiritual. With all those aspects, we are focused in education. To move further and summarize on this, recommendation for parents to provide education is providing him with food, satisfying his need, cook for their child's health, then send their child to school. That is the main basic and important aspect, education. Practice and teach them. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next contestant is Avinash Kumar from Duranta College. Let's have a round of applause.
A very warm greetings to all of you. My name is Avinash Kumar Yadurvanshi, representing Duranta College, Ranchi. Aristotle says, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. The power of education lies in its ability to transform life. From the ancient times, our Indian Gurukul system works on the principle of combining culture and science, which fosters the overall inclusive development of an individual. But the question arises, from where should this education begin from? In our Sanatan tradition, 16 sanskars have been mentioned, and when it starts with Garbhadhan, from where it totally depends on the mother that how he bears the child. In what circumstances the child had been bears depends upon what he can achieve in life. Overall, individual efforts matters a lot, but in what circumstances he was born or how he had been beared up will also matters. The surrounding, if it is of peaceful environment, will impact his mentality to that of level. Now, in the video, I learned that the 5 basic principles on which we have to work on the physical, mental, emotional, psychological, and the spiritual one. This all comprises for overall inclusive development of an individual. For an inclusive development, only physical strength or mental strength is not important. Emotional and spiritual intelligence or efforts is also important. If a person or individual student wants to have a growth or divine growth or spiritual growth, he needs to work on all these principles. Parents are considered as first teachers. For example, when a child comes in this world, he does not know any faith, any caste, any religion, any ethics, or any philosophies. It is what we give to them. No one is born as a Hindu, as a Muslim, as a Christian, as a Buddhist, or as a Jewish. It's what we give them. It's what our philosophical views, it's what parents give them. So it starts from basics, from the households. And now it's totally upon us that how we breed a child. If we want peaceful, as Gautam Buddha says, the only way to bring peace to the earth is to learn to make our own life peaceful. If we all individuals inculcate these all values of kindness, compassion, integrity, morality, and generosity in our life, then we all can make this earth a more peaceful and environmental friendly also. And for this reason, the Oratory has been established, where people from all countries can come together and live together with a peaceful environment, while also protecting our environment and Mother Earth. In terms of divine or spiritual growth, how our circumstances matter is that where there are various examples of Adi Guru Sankaracharya or Samrat Chandragupta Maurya. Chanakya beared him in such circumstances that one day he will lead the entire Bharatvarsh from his might. So, this all matters our circumstances. At the end, I would like to conclude my words by saying that whatever the situations is in our environment or surroundings, but how we bear them all and how our growth and things takes with our parents or either teachers or gurus will work. This will help to our prosperous and more healthy and a peaceful life. Thank you all.
The next contestant is Shriyashri Pani from OUTM. Let's have a round of applause.
O Divine Mother, I surrender all my words to you. Please keep my mind quiet, my hands precise, and my will focused. I'm doing this not for my own ego, but as an offering to your grace, respected faculties, judges, and my dear friends. Well, I remember when I was a child, I would often see my grandmother praying with the Rudraksha mala in her hand. And and there would be 2 photos hung in her wall in her room. I would say her, Dadi, we have got so many goddesses, we have got so many gods in our puja room. Mama prays to them every day. Come and pray them there. And she would say, Bacha, you will realize when you grow up. And now that I have studied so much about the principles and the teachings of Sri Aurobindo and Sri Ma, I realized what she meant. And the photos were of Sri Aurobindo and Sri Ma that are still hung on the walls of a room. Now it is sure that it does pass down from parents to children. And the child does not know books and alphabets, but he does not know even his presence. He learns what he sees, hears, and feels. And he may have an old soul, but his physical, vital, mental, psychic, and spiritual development are all dependent on his surrounding. As Sri Aurobindo talked about the separation of the Purusha and the Prakriti. Purusha, that means the body without emotions, and Prakriti, that is all the chaos inside. And that is when the union of the soul with the divine happens. Now, if the mother is conscious, she reflects the same to her child. Now, let's take an example of this. When a child is inside his mother's womb, he's growing inside his mother's womb. He does not even know if there's a world outside. Like we do not know if there's something beyond death. Now, in this process of this mother, she becomes his world, his universe. And she becomes the embodiment of Maheshwari, which means wisdom, Mahalakshmi, which means harmony, and Mahakali, which means strength, and Mahasaraswati, which means perfection. Now, the child is surely influenced by his mother. Now, same way, when the parents have themselves in the karmic yoga and know the real value of education and the utmost protection revelation has been done, when their yoga is accompanied by the consciousness and they are sadhaks, their child learns the same. Or as Ma said, if they are sincere in their culture, they have surrendered everything, they are cheerful and inspiring, the moral values that a child learns as sincerity, honesty, peace, and calm. As just as he was a pure form in the vault of his mother's womb, he shall be a pure soul in the earth's womb as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Khushbu Kumari from Toronto College. Let's have a round of applause. The round of applause should be energetic.
सीखो अपने कण कण से, मन में भरो ज्ञान को, इतिहास गवाह है इस बात का, कुछ ना मिला अभिमान को. This sentence teaches us to know the worth of education. It's try to show us we are the student since birth till date. We should not satisfied once by material things, but never satisfied by education. We learn from what we see surrounding us. कोई भी जन्म से बुद्धिमान नहीं होता. It's mean we learn from our failure, our fear, our struggle, our obstacles. Many parents think I will provide all things to my child at his or her feet, but our parents, all the people must understand that it's make us lazy, introvert, and proud by doing nothing. What a struggle teach us, comfort never can. That's why in Essex time, a son of a king as Rama is also goes to the ashram for his further education. We learn from all the phase of our life, step by step. When we are a child, we learn. When we are young, we learn. When we become old, also then we learn. At last, I would like to say, once we will die, but our education will never. Thank you.
Thank you, Khushbu. The next contestant is Prachi Pratyasha Das from Silicon University. Prachi Pratyasha Das from Silicon University. Let's have a round of applause for Prachi.
Well, before I start, I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of Sriman Shri Aurobindo. So, what is education? Well, before I start, let me tell you all, I'll be dividing my speech into three categories. So, firstly, I will be analyzing the fact about why education is required and what is education doing in today's life and where education will stand if we try to analyze with proper pattern in the future. So, well, I will clarify the topic of education, which is vast topic, to have a maxim. Well, when we talk about education, it starts with parents, who teaches us the form of very beginning base of education. If we have the proper education, why the war is still existing, why the poverty is still existing, why in world we don't know how to live, we live with a relation of unintegrity, a relation of where we do not know how to harmonize things, how to be a person who doesn't lack a self-control, who doesn't lack how to observe and analyze things. So, as Sri Aurobindo once said, one should include these philosophies, the process of rise, one higher consciousness to understand how to develop oneself. To harmonize oneself, education must be balanced with different aspects. To vitalize the inner consciousness, of course, we very much understand from the parents what are the base of education. Well, let me say, there are many authors who have their own perspective about education. Authors like Arundhati Roy, authors like Laszlo Krasner-Orkhai, who was a Nobel Prize Literature last year. They had a great education. Authors like even our own very Shiv Khera, as we have our audience, Shiv Khera of Odisha over here. He also shared his perspective about education on the field of education is not taught in classroom. If it is taught in classroom, it is bad. It is taught in the principles of life where we learn to achieve things, where we learn to analyze the things and observe it and then apply it in our life. So, the teaching and practical implementation of education are not only the proper analyzation, but it also need a level up to understand the inner conscience, and that we get when we have the perspective of Yugma in our life. Yugma, yoga. So, as I said, why for yoga? Practicing it daily so that we can have a proper education in our life with the influence of making our mind to analyze things properly. Union with the one who is spiritually, socially, ethically, psychologically awakened. G, grace with the one's gurus when education is successful. And mother is the one who teaches us the aspiration and analyzing of things in our life so that we never fail. And A, aspiration without anything. But education is very important in our life.
We have Riya Tiwari from Srinath University. Let's have a round of applause for Riya.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So, this is Riya Tiwari from B Pharmacy of Srinath University. So, as per the reference we've looked after said, the education of a human being should begin at birth and continue throughout his life. In my point of view, a child starts its education before the period of parturition in its mother's womb. This type of education is known as physical education, which is done by the mother by taking care of herself. Next, the child has been welcomed to the world, learns the ethics and moral values by looking over their adults. The most influential adults in their lives are the parents whom they like to imitate initially. Then learn the life values, the sanskar. This is the most important part of one's education towards life, which can get messed up because of their parents' ignorance towards the child's interest. The parents satisfy the basic needs of the children and starts thinking that this all a kid needs or wants. But in my perspective, an individual can attach to emotional intelligence, the spiritual power, and the divine only when their parents see Only when they see their adults, they're giving them values to their interests, ideas, or visions of them, even the silly ones. It makes any children believe that they are worthy of listening and they are people to give their thoughts to their visions. Well, as per said my above words, the learning stage, which is when a child has entered the world, is the most important one, which leads their whole life. So instead of ignoring, the little future of our words needs to be heard, listened, and true guidance to shape their ideas. Or we have seen the countries collapsing in the hand of rulers who have lacked the vision of spiritual and emotional intelligence, the two main skills which makes a puppet a real human being. Lastly, I would like to conclude my speech with no matter how much words are spoken, ideas are taught, or morals are spread, one can never become a human being or bring humanity to out of this paper without implementing the real world. Because without the implementation, these programs are meant nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ria. The next contestant is Namanpreet Kaur from Srinath University. Let's have a round of applause.
Today, we all are here to celebrate the two soul and the one region, Sri Aurobindo and the mother Mira Alfeza. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Namanpreet Kaur, the student of Srinath University. When the spirituality meets an action, then the education takes a direction. As we all know, nowadays education is very important. Each one of us being a girl, each one of us, I being a girl, education is very personally. Like every girl should be educated in every perspective. Education is only not in a books, not in a presentation, not in a PDF. As a mother said, never lose faith, always have a faith in you. She came back in India from France to leave her study to explore more in spirituality. Nowadays, every school is following the British education system in which we all are learning through a digital, not by the books, not by the exploring each other, not by the experience. From my point of view, a real education is all about the education we had long before, the Gurukul system, where each student had to leave their parents at the age of 5 and stay with their teacher, the Guru. We maintained where they teaches us the self-confidence, discipline, to be a patient person, and the most important, they teach us to be a sacrifice. As per my knowledge, if I get a chance to add a 3 motive in the education system, I will add the one, the self-discipline and the inner growth. Like Sri Aurobindo believed that the progress starts from within. So, I will not only study for the marks, but also study for to gain the knowledge. And a good education, by doing this, I will control my overcomes and all my distractions. Number 2, the positive thinking and the faith. Like mother said, never lose faith in yourself. Never lose faith in yourself. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Namanpreet. The last contestant of Group B, Chanda Kumari from Srinath University. Let's have a round of applause.
For being an educated person, you should focus on a good education, not on only marks. The education of a human being should begin at birth and continue throughout his life. Good afternoon, one and all present here. I, Chanda Kumari from Srinath University, deliver a short oral presentation on the basis of my opinion on education. Indeed, if we want this education to have its maximum result, it should begin even before birth. Yes, before birth. In this case, it is the mother herself who proceeds with this education by means of a twofold action. First, upon herself for her own improvement, and secondly, upon the child who she is formally physical. To see that her thoughts are always beautiful and pure, her feelings always noble and fine, her material surrounding as harmonious as possible and full of great simplicity. This is the part of education which should apply to the mother herself. Education, to be complete, must have five principal aspects, corresponding to the five principal activities of the human being: the physical, the vital, the mental, the psychic, and the spiritual. According to the philosophy of Mother Mira Alfazar, good education is to be educate your soul, is to find your soul. Usually, these phases of education follow chronologically the growth of the individual. Now, I conclude here. However, this does not mean that one them should replace another, but that all must continue completing one another until the end of his life. Thank you.
Let's have a big round of applause from groups B for completing all the presentation. Now, we will take a short pause once the jury resumes his seat. we are going to start the last group presentation, the oral presentation, and the topic given to them was psychic education and spiritual education. The first contestant from Group C is Amlan Das from Ravenshaw University. Let's have a round of applause.
Before I proceed, let me tell you a story. There was a person who was complaining about the hammer hitting the nail noise to Shri Ma in the ashram. What did she say? Imagine it is not the hammer hitting the nail, it is rather a musical flute. It is a magical perception. That is what a person thinks when she is embodied with spiritual knowledge and psychic knowledge. So good afternoon to all. My topic is about importance of psychic and spiritual education. Why we talk about that? My primary arguments would be from medical science, because we as humans, we need our materialistic benefit from science. That is how we understand the importance of something. The first argument is that there are neurons in our body. They are fired when we project a reaction to something. And that is decided by the brain. How does brain decide that? How does the judgment to brain accepts? When a person with spiritual knowledge is aware of the surrounding, is totally aware of what is happening to him or her, such as Sri Aurobindo Ghosh. He is aware of every person in the room that is listening to his speeches. That is the response of a neuron. The second point is that we are composed of cells, the microscopic organism. The cells, when under Om or chanting of mantras and all, under that, our cells calm down. The frequency matches with 108 Hz, which is the very spiritual number in Hinduism. Third point is that there is a lobe in our brain that is known as parietal lobe. When we interact with people, when we go through tough times, that lobe develops. And that is the same lobe that is developed when we look into ourselves, when introspection happens. And let me tell you a surprising fact. Children, they are often found to be talking with imaginary person, imaginary best friend. It is actually the developed parietal lobe, which parents often ignore, and they rather force their children into academic knowledge and not into spiritual part. Or there are also evidences in science. We know about Oppenheimer. He created the nuclear reactor. He drew reference from Bhagavad Gita. Now that I have become there, I am the creator and destroyer of the world. That was the quote he mentioned in his book. The second argument is that Edison said that the more I talk about science, the more I deal with science, the more I realize God is real. There is also our understanding that only religion speaks for spirituality. These arguments prove the otherwise. Lastly, we feel that whatever spiritual and educational psychic process that we go through, it is just a process and there is an end limit to it. No, spirituality and psychic education is the state that is achieved while we are going through the process and not something that we achieve after the process. Sri Aurobindo said that Prakruta chinta rudate basate, naki ukte paye. What he meant was our experiences, the person around us, they are the Shakti, they are the real knowledge. You all are sitting in there, you are the real Shakti. Lastly, I would like to show you a demo. This is a pen in my hand. If I do not have the adequate spiritual and psychic knowledge, for me this is just a way to quench my physical and material need of writing in this paper. But if somebody who has the right psychic and spiritual knowledge, he or she will see this as a creator of the mind, as just a creation of the mind, or a creation of the Brahman, just a creation of the Brahman. Thank you.
Thank you. The next contestant, Asif sir, it's me. The next contestant is Riddhi Agrawal from SCB Medical College. Let's have a round of applause.
Salutations in the lotus feet of Shrima and Sri Aurobindo. Thank you, ma'am, for introducing me. Before I start, I want to ask, how many of us remember the complicated algebra sums we tried to solve in school? Possibly very less. Why? Because we did not see the purpose in them. Psychic education bestows us with a purpose. The real purpose of life, service. A psychic psychic being must learn to give. If change means moving forward, it must move inward first, and that can be achieved only through psychic education. The instance of Sri Aurobindo denying the ICS degree because he did not want to serve Britishers prove that education is all about uplifting one's soul and not just degree. It is about growing beyond nationality, religion or ego. A world like Auroville does not exist only in Tamil Nadu, it exists in each and every one of us. Not built by architects, but through our own consciousness, one which is manifested by the divine. Psychic education and spirituality are not just destinations. I believe they are directions which show us the right path to lead this life. Gifted upon us by the divine, and attaining that consciousness is our purpose. We evolve, we change every day, every moment, and not just biologically, but emotionally, spiritually. And the obstacles we face, like insecurities and fear, change into our power with psychic education. Remember, the real battle is not external, it is within us. Being a part of the medical fraternity, I have realized that while dealing with the human life, it is not just education from books that helps. It is the divine power. The AV we heard today actually questions us of what should be the purpose of our education. What should be the real purpose of our learning? It is surely not just feeding ourselves with information. It is surely not just feeding ourselves with materialistic goals, aiming for money. The mother had warned us about the vital depression, about the mental health problems the youth faces today. And she's also blessed us with her teachings. All life is yoga. The only way out from that hole of depression. Last but not the least, thank you Yugma 2026 for helping each one of us find the purpose in life. Thank you.
Thank you, Riddhi. The next contestant is Ashutosh Acharya from IGIT Sanam. Let's have a round of applause for Ashutosh.
The limits of advertisement are boundless, surely. No, I am not going off the topic, but this is the only line that was lingering in my mind after I saw the 5 minutes of video and advertising stunt. That's advertising stunt of 5 minutes when a society where competition prevails more than enough amount of sleep we get. What is important for us, Julie? To get compliance of education or to focus on psychic education and spiritual knowledge. What does human mental consciousness doesn't know? As a line from the 5 minute of AV video I got, what does human mental consciousness doesn't know, and my knowledge says nothing, because the evolution of millions of years has taught us each and everything. And here everyone coming and speaking as if they know anything and everything about the knowledge. See this drizzling trophies, we change our personality to support what two mentalities said to us. That is the failure of education in the modern day today. Sri Aurobindo and the Divine Mother never said you to focus on what they said blindly, rather their idea lingered in building upon what they said. Philosophy is what must be a part of education, not spiritual knowledge. Because under Hinduism, your own God says, focus on philosophy and work, not on something that is spiritual, that comes under spirituality. Spiritual knowledge without a penny in a pocket is useless. If you cannot serve your duties in this earth, if you cannot serve your duties in this materialistic earth, Judy, this spiritual knowledge is of no use. Coming to the psychic education, it is important to understand the God and psychological psychological notation as truth. This is the exact line from the video I got. And is it important for me to understand what God is or what truth is on basis of physiological notation? Or it is important for me to understand what was the law of Maxwell, because that will get me a minimum salary to feed my family. That has to be my motive. My motive in this earth is not to just survive for the being of surviving. Knowledge can be free, literacy can be free, but survival is costly in this generation. I am not against the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo or the Divine Mother, but I am in the extreme form of their philosophy, as they say, to build up on what they have said, not to blindly believe on what they have said. Believing in spiritual education is the only role, and psychic education is the only education that we get. This is the most utterly wrong advertisement stunt we see in this world, we see in this generation. This was Astro's idea. Thank you.
Thank you. The next contestant is Pratima Kumari from Duranto College. Let's have a round of applause for Pratima.
Good afternoon to each and everyone present over here. I'm Pratima Kumari and I'm representing Duranda College. Today I would like to share my experience with sharing a small experience of myself. Before attending this event, I was attending a wedding, literally praising his son about how perfect he is, how he reads Gita and Shlokas every day, how he did not even eat before offering it to God, and how he has a great job and has a great salary, and how perfect he is. I got a chance to meet him, and then I literally find him ignorant, arrogant, because he was not even behaving good toward his mother. We headed to eat, and that's why he was not even behaving good to any of the person who was catering us. That's when I realized that he did grow physically, mentally, and has a good education, success, money and fame, but he did not even grow a bit spiritually. That's where that remind me of the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo, that man is a transitional being, is not final. Once he or she have the feeling that they are superior, that there's nothing beyond them, superior them, they are being ignorant and they learn literally nothing. So far we are prepared to get name, fame, money and success from the moment we are born. It is like a rat race. We are expected to have good marks. Once we are adult, we are expected to have a job. We are expected to chase the materialistic happiness. I will not say that we should not do it. We should indeed to have a good education, but not only for money or fame. Instead, we should have a type of education which can not only develop our physical or mental, but also our spiritual consciousness. Education and having knowledge about things are useful, but these things are not essential. The essential is basically when we develop our personality, character, as well as the awareness, the jnana, that we are not the one who is leading anything. It is the supreme power, supreme divine energy, and if on the path of finding this divine power, we are reading the Gitas, Ramayana, philosophies, yes, it is good. But the essential is experience. Until that time we experience the presence of God, when we start accepting the truth that there is nothing except the divine energy that could do anything. And this experience cannot come from outside, it's inside every human being. We just have to search for it sincerely, putting all our devotions. When we do whole, complete, unconditional devotion towards Him, it's never important to show Him devotion only by puja part. We have to just be human first. Be human to another human, be nice, have respect for the ones present on the earth. And at last, I would like to conclude with a quote of Sri Aurobindo, that the best teaching is nothing can be taught. It is only our inner light, inner consciousness that awakens us. Thank you very much.
The next contestant is Archana from Parvati Girls Women's College. Archana, please. Let's have a round of applause.
Saluting to the mother and Sri Aurobindo. Honorable jury members and everyone present here, I would like to start my topic with a simple quote. Education is the greatest weapon that you can use to change this world. What do I mean by that? What is the true purpose of education? Is it that just the accumulation of facts in the brain? Or Or is it something higher? Our education should teach the soul its duty. Its duty to surrender with the divine, to serve its creation on this earth, and to be blissful with whatever we have in our life, and to do every work with sadhana. Aurobindo proposed integral education with this purpose: the development of physical, mental, emotional, psychic and spiritual well-being. And this psychic education also says the education of our inner soul. It teaches us that what's our true purpose in life and how we can differentiate between what's good and what's bad. Even Sri Aurobindo was educated at St. Paul's and King's Cambridge College, but he didn't get satisfied with that. He only got the satisfaction after doing meditation, through which he got the higher level of consciousness. Even in the ancient periods, we see that this education was not just based on books. We used to meditate and we used to get that spiritual divinity union. Imagine a person right now who is educated, but he is not kind to anyone. Means he doesn't respect his parents, nor does he treats the elders well, or nor does he talks with the children with adoration. So shall we say that he is well educated? Absolutely not. Even in the current generation we see that the education aims at keeping us attached towards materialistic things. Like we just get education, want to get education with the aim of getting higher marks or getting a job or achieving more financial conditions. And when we don't get that, we feel dissatisfied and sad. But when we actually know that what our true purpose is and what is the meaning of every event of our life, what's the purpose of every event of our life, we then get a higher conscious level. So, all I could say in conclusion that make your psychic education your tool to fight with the evil inside you and your spiritual education your way to feel satisfied in the life and do your karma. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Archana. The next contestant, we have Joy Mukherjee from Srinath University. Let's have a round of applause.
Good morning. My name is Joy Mukherjee and I am from Srinath University. I am not here to stimulate your mind. I am here to expose you what people hold down and what lifts them up. You know, the biggest weakness on this earth is not the lack of talent, it's the lack of inner command. Sri Aurobindo and the mother were not rating their followers. They were designing a human standard for human life. A human life that is not ruled by distraction, fear, or impulse. Sri Aurobindo gave a perfect sentence that destroys every excuses. All life is yoga. It means your life is not normal. Your life is training. Every day is a test of attention. Every movement is a test of will. Every reaction reveals your level. And the mother made this even more sharper. She didn't say run away from the life. She wanted transformation. She said the divine consciousness is to penetrate into matter and transform it. Understand this clearly. This is not normal word. This is power. Power of what? Power that builds. Power that purifies. At this point, I remember Bhagavad Gita commands us in chapter 5, verse 6. Live your own self. You should not degrade yourself. Your mind is your greatest friend and your enemy too. This is not excuse. This is reality. Sri Aurobindo and Srima just wanted to see a transformation and evolution in human life. Evolution of what? Evolution of character. Evolution of focus. Evolution of consciousness. They just wanted to make people aware that you should stop being controlled by moods Stop calling weakness your personality. Stop being controlled by distraction. Sri Aurobindo and the mother vision is so clear. Their teaching can actually shape the future. When a person gets conscious of it, people get to know about their own self. India is a land of great philosophers, and their teachings are priceless. Their teachings are not about individuality, but it's all about building a great nation. When every person gets to know about their own consciousness level, they understand how to serve humanity. So you have to choose discipline or regret. I'm very thankful to Arthur School of Management to getting the knowledge about two great persons that actually help me to understand about consciousness and to serve mankind. Before I leave this stage, I just want to say, we all are made amazing. Never doubt yourself. So, NGU, never give up. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. The next contestant is Shabana Kadri from Institute of Pharmacy and Technology. Let's have a round of applause.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good afternoon to everyone present over here, the seeker of knowledge and education. Today, I do not stand before here as a representative of any nation, religion, belief, or ideology. I'm just a human being talking to another human being about our shared future. Every individual has some hidden energy which may not be recognized by the world sometimes. So therefore, sometimes we pack bags with facts, load hard drives with data, fill resumes with achievement, but at the highest top level of our life, we still feel that disconnection. It is because the disconnection from spiritual education. Life without spiritual education is like a ship without compass. It will definitely show you the road, but it will never take you to your home. Psychic education defines purpose of life on earth. It is a mystic feeling. So human consciousness is like a radiating energy, a radiating light which will take you to the path of your destination. Human consciousness, let us understand about the consciousness. If you are conscious enough to differentiate between the right and the wrong deed, then maybe you are potential enough to seek spiritual education. It is true that we have to take certain amount of concentration on external things, and it is necessary that it can be done on a proper way. Psychic education can be religious sometimes and cannot be. Mainly, when I am talking about spiritual education, not every spiritual education practice their religion every time. Let us think about my religion. And I will not say a person is spiritually a high practitioner if he is praying 5 times a day, doing hijabs, fasting on the month of Ramadan. So I will not tell him or her, I will not identify him or her as a practitioner of our spiritual education if he is not helping, if he is not feeding, and if he is not doing the right deeds. The right deeds, the deeds of helping others. Spiritual education teaches to see the self in other, so you treat with empathy and manifestation. And it is the line it is the line which our mother has said. And as Sri Aurobindo has mentioned in his writings, that the goal of human being is not to escape, that not to moksha alone, but to divine life on earth. To live a practical life and experiencing own reality is most important than any theory and explanation. As mentioned by our mother, the spiritual awakening is necessary. Thank you. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Shabana. The next contestant is Trishul Mulia from Shishi University. Let's have a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Greater consciousness, as referred by Sri Aurobindo,
Greater consciousness is what that leads us to eternity. It is the path to connect with the divine. It gives us the chance to explore the vast eternity. This greater consciousness is the backbone of existence for every organism living in our world. It is what that rules us and guides us in our life. Thus, it is superior to the human mental consciousness. Like our backbone is the center of our skeletal system, helping us stand, giving support to the whole body from the center. Similarly, this consciousness radiates at the center of organisms through the external consciousness. The traditional education makes the human unconscious, thus is the need of psychic education. Education needs to be physical, vital and mental. Education, as said by Sri Aurobindo, needs to focus on making oneself a well-defined, self-conscious entity and not making oneself just an amorphous, subconscious mass. This is psychic education. Normally, this is associated with a religious life, but no, it is wrong. It is a more philosophical notion of truth. In conclusion, psychic life focuses mainly on living the experience, whereas mental notions and ideas focused in spiritual life remain secondary in psychic life. In psychic life carries its own reality and should not be linked or associated with any theories, whereas spiritual life carries different names according to the environment or religion and the education one has received. It differs in various beliefs. Thank you.
Thank you, Trishu. The next contestant is Shashank Rakshit from Symbiosis Institute of Technology, Nagpur.
Good morning, one and all present here. First of all, as Adler says, every action has some consequences to fuel it. And as Sri Aurobindo and the mother says, humans are evolved beings. Not evolved beings, we are transitional beings. Who only becomes great through consciousness and the greater one. Thereon, why I started with these two quotes, one from psychological perspective and the other the great spiritual way. Both not only focuses on the same thing, but also teaches us a lot about psychic and spiritual world itself. As the modern society focuses on technological advancement, we are forgetting our basic purpose of life. That is connecting with the rhythm of nature itself. As Aurobindo says, education is not only knowledge, it is the holistic development of an individual in terms of physical, vital, mental and the soul itself, which can only be achieved by connecting the Panch Tattva and understanding it. This education process, which is not only complete in itself, but actually awakens the true consciousness, which is by the way followed in Auroville itself. As Ma says, there are four powers: Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Ma Saraswati and Maheshwari. All these powers can be achieved when a person is self-aware and takes responsibility, which ultimately results in the awakening of the chakras as Adi Yogi himself taught the world. I would like to take the example of the comfortness in the pinnacle of car world, that is the Rolls Royce. The engine, the suspension, the gearbox, everything works in harmony to provide the utmost comfort that is possible.
So, to conclude my stance on psychic and spiritual education, knowledge is just information until it goes to one's heart. True education is revealed by the aura that we project through the knowledge gained. So at last, let us lead the Yugma way. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashank. The next contestant is Sthiti Pragya Sahu from Roland Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Sthiti Pragya Sahu. Let's have a round of applause for Sthiti Pragya Sahu from Roland Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences.
So good afternoon everyone. So today I was given a beautiful topic, that is psychic education and spiritual education. So the given topic truly means the type of education and what difference it created in our lives. All the good bad things that happen with the way of our providing education to our children, who are the future of themselves. In today's time, when our parents are busy with their professional life, that is quite practical, but unknowingly, their children are get rid of emotional stability that leads to make them away from their paths. And but now now a time when the things are different, people around us changed. No one is there to guide us for the future success with true success that needs a practical thinking with spiritual vibe with it. Like I would like to give you a example. Parents live with his son, and they are normal life. They are doing their professional life very good, maintaining balance, but they lack to give their son the proper emotional stability. When his son grew up, he want to go abroad for more learnings, and he told his parents, and they allowed. And he thinks when he go abroad or he learns better, he will think materialistic things like money, power, and etc. And he will like to live that life like this way. But when he go to the abroad, he got a very good job with very good package. Then suddenly his life starting very traumatic, with stress, with no future. He's thinking, I am only living like a I was only living like I am earning, I am eating, and I am sleeping. But there is no other than this. There is no relationship with it. There is no parents to support, and there is no mother who can say, "Oh, my son, you are tired. Then let me do it for you. You have to do it alone." That is. Then he got to know that emotional intelligence that is needed in life. So and. So situations, environment, and our lives that difficult, we often focus on education that our society needs. But for the real education that comprises the materialistic things, obviously we needed that with practical knowledge, with emotional stability, and our society's criteria thinking. And I would like to conclude this that we have to balance our life, not just live like this. So thank you everybody.
Thank you, Sthiti. The next contestant is Tinotenda Magama from C.V. Raman Global University. Let's have a round of applause.
Namaste. I would want to start by asking everyone to meditate by saying, Can the audience please respond? Thank you. We all carry consciousness in us as we are taught by the mother. And people are more focused upon education carried purely by human faculties. As mentioned earlier upon the previous speeches, there are 5 aspects to education, which includes the gracious part of education, which is the psychic and the spiritual education that I'm here to talk about. One can reach a higher possibility of consciousness under the right circumstances, the right teaching, and trusting with themselves. As we are taught by Sri, the mind is a tool and not the master, something that you're not taught on that education taught by human faculties. Everything starts in the mind. When childhood in all purity, divinity can be reached and greater divine. As we are taught again, the mind is a tool and not the master. As Mother once said, trust in yourself, your infinite self, not just the body, but your infinite self that is the mind, and you shall be unified with the God. We have great examples of people who practice great consciousness, which are Lord Krishna and the Mother herself. As I read the book about the divine body and about the Mother, we were told that the Mother never left. She is with us in our consciousness. So if you reach your consciousness, you shall again meet with the Mother. To comment, a higher consciousness can also be manifested through words. Sri is a great example of someone who manifested great consciousness through word and wisdom. As he wrote those 5 gracious, amazing books, the one about synthesis yoga, the one about the divine body, and my favorite, the Mother. However, parents and the regular people disregard this type of education and disregard about consciousness. They try by all means to keep us in our conscious. Little do they know, the mind is not the master. It's just a tool. So when you don't allow yourself to reach consciousness and stay in consciousness, you are making your mind the master, while this is supposed to be a tool. To conclude, I would like to conclude with my own understanding and my words to you all. Creation of an individual being is the result of projection in relation to the supreme being that is the Mother and the teachings that we're taught. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The last contestant of Group C. However, the last contestant of Stage 3, oral presentation round, goes to, the contestant is Chinmay Charuhasini Raut from Salipur Autonomous College. Let's have a round of applause.
Vidyalanima Sarada, Jagajanima Bharati, Parambrahma Om, Shrima, Sri Aurobindo. Respected judges and my dear friends, today we are talking about education. When we talk about education, it doesn't mean the bookish knowledge we get at colleges and schools. It's about the integral education. It's about the integral education Sri Aurobindo taught us. Let's take an example from our society. Educational institute or coaching institute suck money from parents who earn it from their sweat and tears. From the recent article incident where a doctor got murdered and gang raped by educated people. But the basic problem in our society as a human being is being faced with mental fatigue, anxiety, depression caused by our environment and our instability of our conscious and subconscious mind. Every person, every children have been going through the different setting. The society have been saved a lot. When we talk about psychic or spiritual education, it means the psych means the soul, and spiritual means the practices to find soul's purpose. Every human being have a super mind, yet it remains unnoticed to the external environment. Like many parents don't know what super mind is. They don't know what the 2 lobes of brain, which is right and left. And 90% of people, 90% of human beings using their right brain to think and left the left brain unnoticed. That's where the subconscious mind exists. And we are at the stage of unconsciousness. Consciousness, the self-conscious. We are not able to find what the consciousness means. And there are a lot of ways to find what subconsciousness is. And the parents often ask us to score good marks, to achieve a degree or recognition. Have you ever thought, have you ever considered the children's growth, the inner growth? They don't. External conditions are important, I know that. But the psychic education, which involves physical, vital, and psychological, and mental. And by concluding my speech, I want to say that there's an example I want to give you of antigen and antibody. Experience is the key to find a soul's purpose. And when a antigen exposed and the antibody formed by the antigen presenting cell, and after the first phase, the second phase, when the antigen exposed the disease, the chances of disease causing is 0.
Let's have a big round of applause for all the participants. The stage 3 has been completed and we are really proud of all the presenters presenting so well in front of the esteemed jury members in the shape of Dr. Ashok Mangraj, Shri Bhagirathi Mahapatra and Professor Dr. Sharmila Subramanian. However, the results need to be evaluated properly and we are really very hungry. I can see those hungry faces. So it's a lunch break now and I would request everyone to kindly assemble at the conference hall by 3:15. 3:15. So thank you so much esteemed jury members. The house is dispersed for lunch. Requesting all the student volunteers, the faculty coordinators to kindly coordinate properly and we will resume shortly.